Hello, it's day 32, believe it or not, here in Paris. It's gone by very quickly. I'm more than halfway done. Today I completed a piece, at least the first draft of it, that is a result of my having visited the Louvre and looked at a bunch of artwork about Psyche and other artists' interpretation of the myth, and it became apparent that I needed to write this big piece about love and about Eros falling in love. So I wrote that, and it's done. And now I'm sort of rolling back to the beginning. When I first got here, I started writing the opening sequence, and then and have a really nice sort of semi-orchestral opening that I actually very much like. But I sort of punked out on then writing singing and lyrics because it was just a little threatening to kick it all off. But now that I've gotten deep into the story, I feel like I can go back and have Psyche express her worry about her outward popularity, her external life is confusing for her because so many people are worshiping her, and she's very impoverished internally. She's sad and she's lonely, and I think I'm ready to write that and express that. Um, I also mentioned on, at least on Facebook, that I had gone to see the Psyche Ballet, which is playing here at the Grand Opera. It is a modern, the dance is contemporary, was written now, but the music was written in the late 1860s by César Franck. And I saw that, and Psyche's done in one act in this particular ballet, so it's about a 50-minute dance, and that was the second half of the performance. The first half was Phèdre, which is another Greek myth, so you can see why they'd be paired. And my thought was, well, I'll just get through Phèdre and get to the good stuff later. But I should have been aware that Phèdre would probably be spectacular since Jean Cocteau was one of the conceivers of this particular ballet. So this ballet was first staged in 1950 and is just a mid-century modern wonder. It was just fantastic. The costumes were stark and geometric and beautiful. The dance moves were very mannered because they were sort of aping these sort of Grecian shapes, but still also very modern. And the whole thing maintained a very new and still relevant feel to it. The music was great, and I just really was taken by it. Then came intermission, and when I came back, there was a big drop at on the stage of this woodsy scene, and it looked like it had been painted by somebody who was in 6th grade, their mother, as scenery. It had little sparkles on it where the clouds were, and this piece of backdrop really concerned me. Then the ballet started, and it was the worshippers, the people who were interested in Psyche, and they were all in blue, and they were all in these diagonal lines. And the first, I would say, 3 or 4 minutes, it was really interesting choreography, new moves, things I hadn't seen before, and then the whole thing devolved into Psyche Goes Disney. They had Psyche prancing around the forest with people dressed as animals. The costumes were dreadful. The Western Wind was played by 4 men who were in these costumes that had strips that represented the wind, and their hair was, it looked like kind of 4 Einsteins, but that was supposed to be gusty wind. The story was very foreshortened. The costumes overall were just silly. I mean, Aphrodite was wearing a gold lame, little half dress, and Eros actually, when Aphrodite indicates to her son that she wants him to pierce Psyche, he goes to pierce her, and then he realizes he's falling in love with her, and the dancer actually came to the front of the stage and did this. I just thought, wow, this is a take on Psyche that I don't like. The music was, it was nice. It was a, very classical piece. The choir sounded great. Disembodied voices, they sounded great. But overall, the take on Psyche, in my opinion, was just juvenile. It was very, it just looked like an elementary school production to me. The dancers were wonderful. I just don't understand why this choreographer is so celebrated. I think he's an artist in residence right now with the American Ballet Theater, and it was just horrible. So I came away from that thinking, I really feel like I have a grip on the way I want to portray Psyche and portray this story. So that was very instructive. I was glad I went. And that's all. I just am trying to keep going here, muscling through. I feel like my time is really winding down. Anyway, that's it. What did I say? Day 32. Day 32.